Okay, I did it for the wedding the other day. Oh, good morning. Hey, do not adjust your screen. It is Thursday. We are here with our live. This is Sarah.
Hello.
As you know from Thursdays. I'm Suzanne from Tuesdays. Sarah is just recovering from a cold and she doesn't really have a voice. So she asked me to do this video for her today. So I am. I just wanted you all to know she is great and fine and wonderful. And she will be back for your next Thursday video. Goodbye. Goodbye. Bye, Sarah. Okay, so the theme for this week is kind of a tie-in with Mother's Day this weekend. We are going to be doing hydrangeas, and hydrangeas are such a great plant. One for giving, but also for just enjoying in your garden. There are so many different kinds of hydrangeas. I'm excited to kind of tell you about them. A lot of people want hydrangeas and they feel that they can't. So I'm going to first tell you kind of the conditions that hydrangeas like. If you are within a mile or so of the coast, you can put them wherever you like. That is the beauty of living in this cooler area, and although it can get a lot warmer in the summer, as long as they're well watered, deeply, less often, hydrangeas will do great in full sun here at the coast. As you move inland, of course, morning sun only, or a really nice dappled shade, a light shade, they're going to be great. They like the warmth. They just don't like that burning hot sun, which can really kind of burn and the leaves and things like that. So as you move in, just a little sun, but lots of deep, regular watering. And so quick note about water restrictions in case you're in an area where there are some. Watering deeply is really such a great way. I'm going to turn my radio off and throw it over here. Watering deeply is the best for all plants, but especially a plant like a hydrangea that needs that beautiful watering. So just put your hose on trickle or get a soaker hose or something and just let it really, 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 really melt into the soil. You know, if you can get it down to 8 or 12 inches, that's going to be great. The hydrangea should be able to make it through the week if you're on a once a week, but you're also allowed to water to keep plants alive. So you can go in there maybe a second time during the week if the weather is particularly warm and really give it a good soak again. Just hand water it and it should be just fine. Hydrangeas really like an acidic environment, and so our soil here is primarily alkaline, so you do need to do a couple things to kind of up that acidity to help them be at their best. And one of the best ways is using an acid planting mix. You can use that as your compost or mulch on top of the soil. Just set it there and it'll slowly work its way in. You can use peat moss if you like. Just sprinkle it on the soil, and this is one of the main reasons why people tell you to put coffee grounds on the soil, is to help with acidity. You don't want to do it every day, but maybe every week or two you can put some of the coffee grounds there. That also helps with a little bit of acidity. When you're putting this acid planting mix on the soil, I'd like you to put some mulch on top. They had a great article in the New York Times this morning about mulching in the right way and why it's so good. So if you have a chance, you might want to check that out. But mulch is so good, especially in our really dry conditions right now. It helps conserve the water within the soil. It breaks down, which improves your soil, and it helps suppress weeds, which is a great thing. Everybody wants to have less weeds. So just consider mulching on top of it, because it does keep those roots much cooler and much more, so that you have to water less. So acid fertilizer, great, and used regularly also helps acidify the soil, but you really want to use an acid fertilizer on your hydrangeas. It's going to help them, they're going to bloom better. And although it's really difficult to keep hydrangeas blue in our alkaline environment, you know, we're really lucky that we can have pink hydrangeas here. People in Washington have blue hydrangeas because they have more of an acidic soil. They want pink. We always want blue. It's you know, it's always we want what we can't have. But there is hydrangea bluing formula. You have to use it regularly. You're going to put it on the soil, and it basically, it is really working to acidify the soil there. So if you really, really, really want blue hydrangeas, you can use this. Or let's move into hydrangeas, actual hydrangeas. There are some hydrangeas that will grow in this soil that stay a little bit more blue. There's one called Blue Enchantress. And by the way, I do have some hydrangeas back here with color on them. Most of these back here are from our patio area because they are blooming right now. If you, Marissa will probably pan around a little bit later, but you'll see hydrangeas are just starting to kind of bud up and maybe color up a little bit. But so if we have, where's my container? So this is a blue hydrangea. And again, this is a patio pretty. So we have a lot of these on our patios at all times. They're forced to bloom. And they are so that if you have an event or you want to have some color on your patio or in your backyard because you're having guests or something like that, the patio pretties are perfect. And these are a blue. You can see they kind of start out green, but they eventually blew up. If you were to plant these in the soil once they were done, they probably wouldn't stay blue. They would probably turn pink. But that's, you know, you can decide what you want to do later. But when you buy already blooming blue hydrangea here, I'm pretty sure that it's going to turn pink the next season. We also have these beautiful, beautiful pink ones right here. They are so pretty, these big mop heads. So these are hydrangea microphylla, and they are the mop heads. They are gorgeous. We also have some nice white ones. Everybody likes white hydrangeas, and they are so pretty. We have some gorgeous, gorgeous white hydrangeas here that will, I'm gonna knock this over at some point. They'll bloom this summer. And most of the hydrangeas that we're selling now and that growers are growing are kind of a repeat bloomer. In the past, it was always a big flush of color and then not really a lot. I mean, it would last a little bit, 4 to 6 weeks or something, but now hydrangeas are usually reblooming, and it's a lot nicer to have a little bit longer season with them. I also have some really pretty purpley blue ones. These are really, really nice and great for your patio area. And when you're done with these, yes, you can plant them in the ground. They're going to be a little bit out of sync with what's going on, but you can cut off the heads and plant them, and then next year they'll come out and you'll see what color they are. One of the really neat things about hydrangeas that I personally like is there are so many different varieties, and a lot of people are just aware of the mop heads and they love them and everything's great, but my personal favorite is the oak leaf hydrangea. These are just, they are kind of like what they're named. Their leaves look like oak leaves, and they have cute little spikes as opposed to a big mop head. Usually they're kind of a white one. This one is called Ruby Slippers, and I actually have this one in my garden and it's starting to bloom. I'm super excited. The blooms come out white and then they eventually turn a beautiful deep pink. So it's really, really, really pretty. We have another oak leaf hydrangea here. This one is called Snow Queen, and it is a straight white flower. Really, just a beautiful little spike. And these can take a little more sun. So if you have a place where you like, maybe I want a hydrangea, but I'm not sure if it'll work, these are great. I see one of the oak leaves over there actually has a little flower spike coming. So there's that. Okay, we also have another kind of a favorite of mine, which is Limelight. This is a classic, almost an East Coast hydrangea. A lot of people have them as a big shrub. These will get really large, 6 to 8 feet tall. They, you can see the leaves are a little different. It's a lighter plant, but it gets a lot of flowers on it. Really, really nice. It's kind of like the snowball bush, if you know that one. We have one over there that you can't see, but this will bloom a lot longer during the summer. And then there is a dwarf version of this one called Little Lime. So if 6 to 8 feet is too big and you don't want to be pruning it a lot, you can get the Little Lime and put that in your garden. It'll be like 4 feet, a nice little shrub like that. There are also I thought we had them back here, but they may be gone now. A popular thing that comes and goes very quickly is climbing hydrangeas. Those are, they're a very, very fast and really energetic grower. So if you want to have them, they're really neat, but this is where the caveat is with hydrangeas. They all go dormant in the winter. So dormant means the leaves die off, and the plant is essentially just the sticks, the stems. And so when you're planting them, kind of keep in mind, put things in front of them that during the winter, maybe they'll kind of excel and shine, so that when your hydrangeas are dormant, it doesn't look too stark. So you can put little tiny like sunshine ligustrums or something like that around them. That is the only drawback to hydrangeas, is that you do need to prune them back in the fall, and then they will just be a nice little dormant thing until the spring. It's so beautiful when they start opening up again. When I started this video, I said hydrangeas. The one thing about hydrangeas that I have a problem with is remembering exactly when to prune them. I know that they all have different times that you should prune them back to make sure that you have blooms for the next season. But I was reminded by Sarah and her tiny voice today that you just want to prune hydrangeas back after they've bloomed. So when the flower is dead, prune it back then, and prune it for the size that you want for next year. So it's kind of like rose pruning for future growth. So just cut it back. Some hydrangeas can get quite large, and if you like them that big, that's great. Just let them keep growing. But if you want to keep them a little bit smaller, 4 to 5 feet or something, prune it back after they finish blooming to where you want it to grow the next year, and you're going to be fine. The oak leaf hydrangeas also, they're cut back very late in the season. So that's pretty much it. Have I missed anything, Marissa? No. Are there any questions? I kind of thought there might be. I can't wait till we do the video on plumerias, and then we'll really have some questions.
How big does the snowball get?
Oh, the viburnum snowball? Okay, so that's a different plant, but the viburnum snowball can actually get quite large. It's a big shrub. Depending on where you are and where you live, they can get maybe like 8 to 10 feet tall, but they also go dormant in the winter.
Is there a hydrangea that cascades white blooms?
Cascades. So that would be kind of like a weeping one. Probably, maybe the climbing one you could get to do that, but most of them, so again, I'm gonna just reach over here. I'm gonna show you this oak leaf hydrangea. So if you put this in a pot, you can see the difference in the oak leaf hydrangea blooms. They're a spike as opposed to a mop head. You can get those to kind of go out of a pot. These don't get to be really large plants. They're actually kind of smallish, and that's kind of nice. Smaller than regular hydrangeas.
What were the names of the white hydrangeas again?
The white hydrangeas. Oh, so we have a bunch of them. This one right here, hold on. And oh, by the way, I've got to talk about the seaside ones. This one is called Double Delight's Wedding Gown. We have this one. It's a double flower in there. You can kind of, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a beautiful little double flower. We have a lot of these new seaside varieties, and we're waiting on the one called Crystal Cove, which we're very excited about because we have a Crystal Cove right here near us. And so that's pretty cool. But we have the Seaside Serenade Newport over here. We have a ton of them. They're just budding up and getting ready to just look gorgeous. They are a purple hydrangea. We have, oh, the Blue Enchantress, which is my personal favorite of all these Monrovia hydrangeas, because they have kind of like a purpley black stem, and then they have a blue flower, but none of them have color on them yet. This is why it's kind of a nice gift, is because it's going to be that gift that keeps reminding the recipient of the person who gave it, because it's going to be such a nice long season of giving.
Can you plant them in pots? I bought some kind of mini.
Yeah, you can plant hydrangeas in pots. You want to give them some root space, and then over winter, you're only going to water them maybe like every week, every other week or something. You want to keep them kind of evenly moist, but not too wet. And okay, so that's it for questions. thank you so much for having me here today. I want to thank Sarah, and I hope that her voice is back by next week. I'm sure it will be. I want to ask you to go to rogersgardens.com, where we have all of our roses, all of our hydrangeas online. You can order them. Come on in. We're open this weekend for Mother's Day. Bring mom, walk around here, enjoy the place. We have, of course, our Facebook, which we're looking on. Which phone is Facebook? Facebook and Instagram. We also have our Pinterest, and we have our YouTube channel where you can go and subscribe and see all of our videos and learn all about plants. And that's about it for today. I think we might have another Mother's Day video coming on tomorrow or Saturday. But anyway, happy Mother's Day to all of you, and I will see you soon. Thanks.